I'm going to call the meeting to order. And I'll call the roll. Kevin. Here. Shane is not here, but we anticipate he's going to come. Kate.
Here.
Stacy.
Here.
Anna.
Here.
Teresa.
Here.
Emily.
Here.
I'm here. Johanna.
Here.
You're here. Great. And then Margaret's here as well.
Okay.
We don't have our other liaisons. Is there a motion to approve the meeting minutes as submitted?
I move to approve. Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Great. So citizens comment.
So there is one person logged in. Christopher, do you wish to speak? If so, hit the raise hand.
Okay, Christopher, this is your chance. We're gonna move on. There we go.
Is alive.
Yeah, just observing, new to the community, so I just see what's going on. Thank you.
Okay,
Welcome,
thank you.
welcome. Okay. Okay, my report is all gonna be in subcommittee reports, so I don't have anything else to add right now. Margaret, do you wanna do a commission liaison report?
Oh, sure. Yeah. Hi, everybody. And I know I feel badly that I have missed so many meetings. It's just been incredible that every time I'm out of town, it happens to be on the first Wednesday. I was in Europe, and then last month I was helping my 87-year-old mom, and now I'm visiting my kids. But I'm glad that I can participate remotely. So in terms of what's going on in the commission, that we have some proposed new legislation. So we have some regulations regarding e-scooters and e-motorcycles and e-bikes. And so there's a limit to how much we can control. We can really control what's on municipal property because the state laws would supersede anything that we can pass. But we do feel at least we can have some limitations. And then we are about to pass our new restrictions on vape shop ordinances. So that's coming up. And then we also have some like workshops and citizens comments related to a proposed new zoning ordinances. So that's something which I may bring up later, as we talk about the comprehensive plan and some ways in which you can be more involved as part of the civic engagement board. And that's it.
We have a question for you. Can you hear me?
Yes.
You said we're going to have regulation on vape shop, but is that going to be anything else? I mean, there's probably some other undesirable businesses that we might not want in the community, or at least control in certain ways. So is it just vape shops, or is there other businesses involved also?
Yeah, we already have some controls in other businesses such as weed dispensaries and sex shops. We probably could have gone farther, perhaps like with games of chance, like that's not as big of an issue in Mount Lebanon as in some other communities. But I feel as though because we're going to be doing this comprehensive zoning overhaul in 2027, that I think just focusing on the vape shop is probably as far as the entire commission would go. But we would have the opportunity when we do this comprehensive zoning overhaul in 2027 to include other things that we would consider undesirable businesses to limit them. Thanks. And I think that's what's helpful, with these citizens workshops and additional comments, because you want to get a sense of, how strongly people feel about limiting some other types of businesses that may be not ideal. So.
So what's the next step about the zoning? Because I know that Kevin went to a feedback session on our behalf. Are there going to be future zoning?
Yes, exactly. There are going to be future feedback sessions, and that, yeah, I can be sure to, yeah, and Kevin, if you might be a point person, related to this, yeah, I mean, of course, I could email everybody, but yeah, point out when these workshops are, and then that's something to talk about. Perhaps like the DEI subcommittee might be the best subcommittee to think about. Okay, what are areas in which the Civic Engagement Board, could be helpful in terms of things that we want to promote in terms of being a welcoming community to everybody, looking at different types of zoning that we think might want to be a focus of this committee and making our voices heard. So,
and I think there's two parts to that. One part is the specific content of zoning that has to do with, with an eye towards, having a welcoming and diverse community. But I think there's also, if there's additional feedback sessions, how's the community being reached out to, and how is a diverse set of viewpoints, inclusive set of viewpoints being brought into that conversation. So I think there's both
right.
that are things that we have some ideas about. So
Okay, good. That's helpful. Yeah, so that's something, and I can also, touch base, with any of you individually, especially Noah, to talk about this in more detail about what may be coming up and what some strategies could be, and so.
Yeah, I mean, at that committee meeting, I did share that. And this is probably, I mean, we never had a meeting here to talk about it, maybe that would have been good, so I was giving my personal opinion, really. But having more lower income housing, so we have a diverse set of incomes in the community might be a good thing. And so I did give that comment.
yeah.
Right. So for example, like changing zoning ordinances to have housing, which is more dense, how can we work with that? There obviously were some issues when that was attempted near Jefferson School, and that was shut down. So maybe what are some of the ways we can work through zoning ordinances to have that in certain parts of our community?
So thank you. And I think we all should just sort of watch that conversation, because I think that's going to be an important conversation over the next.
Yes.
Does anyone have questions or comments for Margaret? Staff.
Thank you. So I have two pieces of news for you all. One is that Julia Quino has left the municipality as HR director. We have a new HR director. Her name is Wendy Pardini. She has a pretty long resume. She's worked with manufacturing and corporate. This, I think, is her first government role, but she's whip smart and very eager to be here, and she will be your new second liaison. We gave her a break and did make her come, like she's only been here, I think, a week and a half, 2 weeks. Well, she overlapped with Julie a week, but in any event, we're like, you can wait till August. So I briefed her this morning. She's very excited to join us, so she will be here. And again, she's our HR director, so she will have the same responsibilities that Julie did. Number two, today is the deadline for applications for junior commissioner and junior board members. And I can tell you, we have had a lot of interest in being a liaison to this board. So the commission will be making those appointments. It's normally the first meeting in August, but they're canceling that meeting. So if I can get all my act together and get it to the commission's admin, they will be looking at those and probably making appointments at the end of July. So we look to have some new junior board members. And just for the new members, what that is a student, doesn't have to be Mount Lebanon High School, could be homeschool, could be a parochial student, but just somebody that wants to be a liaison between the issues that the students have and the conversations that you're having, again, to give us that fresh eye view of a population. Again, I don't know that children are underserved in Mount Lebanon, but they often don't have a voice. So that's
We don't have any input to that. To the
no, they are all commission appointments. Like I said, they apply to a lot of the boards and authorities, and a lot of them will pick like 3 or 4 different boards that they would like to be on, some of them. But I just noticed when I go through just to make sure everything's there, I was like, oh, civic engagement. So.
Right. well, if we could, if somebody like you could make any comments to them, it would be good to get, having the person before help with Martin Luther King Day events was really a huge help to get to that community, because they were off that day.
Yeah.
And they had a good project, so somebody who might fit that role would be great.
Right. Well, they're all good kids, but like I said, that is a commission appointment. Yep. That's all I have.
All right, thank you. Any questions for Laura? Okay. Subcommittee report, so Shane isn't here.
Double check.
Yeah.
Nope.
Okay. Does anyone else have anything about police or fire? Those are both Shane.
Other than at the last meeting, they were looking at last week of October, first week of November for coffee with the cop and something with the fire department.
DEI has a riff on the coffee with a blank, so idea in a minute.
Imitation is the sincerest form of flattery. So.
Okay, mediations.
I think I reported last time I had a new one come in, and well, maybe actually a new one came in. Now it's over.
Yeah.
Started and ended with a person doing the right thing and me having no involvement at all, except listening to them talk about what the right thing they did. So
Good.
good news, good news.
Yeah.
No new one since then.
All right, DEI. So we met, Emily, Kevin, and I. There are 4 ideas. Who wants to go? Coffee with blank.
Okay.
I think that was yours.
Sure.
What was that?
Coffee with blank. It's a riff on the
It's
coffee.
an idea to, so actually Kevin and Laura and I had like a long conversation at the end of the meeting last month, kind of like off the record, just like chatting. And there we were talking about like how to make Coffee with a Cop more inclusive to people, particularly people that might not want to interact with a cop, because that kind of feels like the point. And so that seemed like too narrow. It was like really kind of forcing a square peg into a round hole. And so this new idea is coffee with a community leader, where we maybe like can try it, and if it gets off the ground, sort of rotate who the community leader is that shows up. But the idea is that first, that label is like less intimidating and maybe more welcoming. And then 2, I mean, one of the points I was making in the chat with Kevin and Laura was that I think a lot of people don't know that we, for example, have a social worker on our police force. And so I think you said don't call it a police
Department.
force. Yes, department. As soon as I said it, I was like, I know that she said there's another word.
Just so you all know, that's just trying to change the image of people have a police from a warrior to a guardian. They're there to protect you, not to attack you, so.
I love
Force
that.
just
I just
sounds
forgot
so
the other word.
intimidating. Sorry.
Yeah,
Didn't mean to
no,
interrupt.
that's perfect. Yeah, so I don't know, we can elaborate in a more sort of back and forth way, but the other thing I do want to note right off the bat is that the other thing that we would like, but we know will be logistically difficult and maybe so difficult that we can't do it, is to eventually at least have these not be coffee and not be on a weekday in the morning, because that's another barrier to entry that I get, like we all sort of understand organizationally why that's been the case, but if we could at least sometimes maybe figure out a way to have it in a different venue or in a different time, that would be more inclusive, so. That's the
Especially
first.
time, right? Because people are working, so, you know, there's a lot of people that might be interested, but they can't come at 10 o'clock in the morning.
So that's number one is coffee with a community leader.
And so we could, I mean, you know, we could invite, a commissioner could be the community leader one time. There could be other department heads that people would have interest in having a conversation with. That would be, that we'd be sort of hosting those other events as well.
Maybe I missed this, but are we talking about just having one community leader? I thought one of the,
We could have
we talking about having several community leaders.
Several at once would be
similar,
great. Series.
similar.
Yeah.
Of rotating, yeah.
So there's different people they could talk to, maybe get more of a crowd in.
We thought maybe some of the commissioners might want to come, so some of them.
Keith.
Keith would be great. we hadn't talked about like salaried people, because then that's more of like it's a Saturday, yeah, I don't know. Yeah, so tell us how many obstacles there are, I guess.
I don't know that there would be obstacles. I think they're all opportunities. So your biggest one would just be if you move it to a weekend or night, the foot traffic would be different. So I think the argument for having coffee is that people were dropping their kids off at school. So they had picked the coffee shops that were near the schools to get that ancillary traffic, like, oh, I didn't know this was going on, but I'll stop in addition to the appointment. So we would just have to do a better job of the communications that it's happening so that people actually made an effort to come. That would be the only thing. Yeah, senior staff is all exempt, so we are not hourly, we're not paid by the hour.
Okay.
So as long as Keith approved any member of the senior staff, you can
Okay.
have them.
Cool.
So if we were to pursue that, what would be the next step? Would we sort of put a proposal together for like that could be submitted to the,
Yeah, I would put together a memo. I
Okay.
would put it in memo form and then,
so what do you think, like 4 in a year? I mean,
Sure.
does that feel like the right?
Yeah, but kind of advertise it, yeah, I
Yeah.
think 40 makes
Yeah,
sense.
we had talked about advertising it different, like still do everything we already do, but kind of assuming that a certain subset of people sign up for Lebo alerts and like maybe we put like flyers. And the other thing was that this kind of leads into one of the other bullet points on our list. If we were to go to and try to really be intentional about going to businesses that are running the gamut, that we would then maybe start talking to the people in those businesses, and then we have some other ideas that have to do with like building a rapport with lots of different businesses in the community. But yeah, putting like asking if we could put up something in their window in a couple of weeks before.
So I guess the question for the whole board is like, who do you think people want to talk to? Like,
I would get I'm blanking on his name, your CFO, the finance. the
Yes.
person-
Andrew McCreary.
He does such a great job at the academy. He's engaging, he's funny. People have questions about sewage and millage and all of that. He had people laughing and
Those kind of people are good to start,
Yeah. yeah, he's very engaged. I thought he was. I think he would be
I think
great.
the principals, like the principal of the high school would be cool. We had also talked about school board members, but I think in particular a leader like the principal of the high school would be really neat.
Yeah, you could have an event where you have the principal and a couple of school board members.
So
all
they're like
together.
themed, yeah.
The idea is not, just to be clear about this, the idea wasn't they sit up on a podium and talk to people and say any questions. The idea was like coffee with a cop, you're there mingling with people, so.
I always enjoy Eric Miller and the economic development, like
Oh,
he
he's
talks
very good too.
about
Yeah.
what's coming in, what the openings are, who's looking to, for space here. You can't give names sometimes, but something besides a mattress store and a pizza
Yeah,
place.
people have opinions about commons and parking garage and that, so I'm sure they want to talk to them about that. I think it's a good idea.
we have 3. We want to do 4.
But, I mean, they have, I don't know if the
Yeah.
planning board's a good idea, because they have them, you could go talk to them once a month already.
Well,
So I'm not sure
I
that's
was
a
really
good idea.
hoping that we would not supersede or step on the toes of the coffee with a cop thing, but have one in the series. It maybe could still be a coffee with a cop, but we like put in like community leader
Yeah.
too. But, going back to the original idea,
Eric Miller and Chief.
yeah, I don't know.
You have the police, the fire,
Yeah, like the safety people in our community, I don't know.
the person who does who talks to the academy, who does dogs and what's that called
The
again?
canine handler.
The
What is the name for that department, what is it?
public safety, or are you talking
Animal
about that?
control?
Animal control, animal control, so you have animal
I thought you meant the
control.
police dogs.
Police, fire, animal control, yeah, like something like that, I think that'd be
Yeah.
good, that's a good idea.
But if we were to do one with like, public safety, my hope would be that we might get the social worker,
Yeah.
from the police department.
Okay.
Laura would be a great choice to talk about how to stay in communication, what things to sign up for, read the magazine, doing whatever, but how to know what's going on, Facebook
Would
page.
things fall apart if you and Ian, like if we did one that was like how the nuts and bolts and like the, but also you could.
No,
talk
if
to
it was
the
me and
magazine.
Ian, you'd never leave because we don't, neither
Well,
one
that's
of us
what-
knows when to stop talking.
Because we
probably
if we
be like,
get you
"All right,
in the
we're
same
good."
place at the same time, like logistically, is that, yeah?
I want to know what the threshold is for a Levo alert.
Affects a decent amount of people, either their safety or a large inconvenience.
Yeah.
That's for cancellations, otherwise it's,
So if we're gonna do this and you wanted to do one this fall, what issue were you working on already?
well, we're 2 months ahead, so right now we are working on the September issue.
So you'd wanna add there if you're gonna do something in October.
Yeah, so for October, we would need that at the beginning of
Will we do the
August.
Residence Academy in September?
The Residence Academy, we usually do in November.
So who wants to write a memo?
I can do it.
Okay, great. Thank you, Emily.
What do I have to do with it though?
So I would just say, I would just lay out what your plans are, lay out the people that you would like to speak, how many times you would like to do it. And then we'll just circulate it to know and everybody, make sure everybody's cool with it, and then I'll pass it on to Keith.
For the night, okay.
I don't think you guys need to vote on that one, that's more of a.
I mean, so let's just vote on that. We like the idea. And that's
I like the idea, I think it's a great idea.
a motion.
Motion. And I'll second.
Second, okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Great. Okay, coffee with the community leader.
What was the second one? You said you had 4 things.
We do
Oh,
have
we
4
do.
things.
So the next one was,
Number one.
that was one.
Sorry.
No, it's good.
So the next one has to do with this
Oh, wait,
community.
Shane has something to say.
Okay,
Yeah, sorry guys, I'm having like major technical, obviously. I was here for listening, which is something my wife tells me I should do more of. So it was good. Yeah, so it was good for me to listen and just kind of hear all the feedback. I completely concur with everything as well. So I'm on now, so I'm available if you guys need me.
great. Do you have any updates on, well, we have you back here?
Yeah, so I met with Kurt as far as the coffee with the cop. I mean, the coffee with the firefighter. I think he called it cap. He has a cute little way of, it's cappuccino with a, I forgot. Anyway, yeah, he's all on board. He thinks it's great. Steve Norbosch, Lieutenant Norbosch, will be one of the people that helps put it together. And I do want to sort of emphasize the goal would be to not have it necessarily at the fire department, because it's not an open house at the fire department, because they sort of already do that. This is more of a sit down and actually engage with the firemen on like a different firefighters on a different level, not just like, here's a red truck to take a look at.
Sounds good. Thank you. Okay, so the next DEI thing was about, we've been talking about for years doing a community survey. It's something that's in the comprehensive plan to do a quality of life or quality of life satisfaction survey. And we do have an expert on surveys on this board.
Yes, that's what I do for a living. Well, I'm a political science professor and my research is all in behavior, so it's all surveys. But I'm not gonna take this one. I mean, I offered to help as
Yeah.
much as the commission wants me to help,
Yeah.
basically.
I mean, so the conversations before were about hiring an external firm to do it. It was not cheap. I mean, the low end was, you know, it was like $15,000. And a lot of them were even more than that. One offer is, you know, using Emily's expertise, you know, could this be a volunteer effort to have a community satisfaction survey that we construct? I mean, but it's not just that we construct it with some expertise, so.
I guess with the survey, like what would be once you get the information, like what's the goal?
Well, so the what's in the comprehensive plan is to do it every 2 years, so that over time we can track sort of life satisfaction, also have questions about feelings of welcome and inclusivity, so that over time, there's actually
The benchmark.
we're benchmarked against ourselves. I mean, there's a suggestion about using a national benchmark in the comprehensive plan. I'm not necessarily sure if that idea was fully developed, but we would benchmark against ourselves.
Yeah.
So.
The argument for having the national benchmark is you have certain municipal services that are routinely rated poorly, even if they're great, and certain ones that are rated great, even if people don't like them. So for example, any municipal servant that tells anybody no generally gets a down vote. So that would be inspections and police. So what is good?
Yeah.
So if the numbers come back 40% positive, is that good? Fire, on the other hand, has difficulty with their strategic plans because everybody loves them and they say, but what can we improve on? And everybody says nothing. That's not helpful. So that's the reason why national benchmarking is good. And what is a reasonable improvement across any of those service levels?
Yeah, I understand that. I think there's a trade-off. If we do a national benchmark, it's hard. We can try and find more information online, but it's hard. So you probably have to hire somebody. And then it costs money, and then we don't want to do it because it costs too much money. So, so we can't do it because it's so much money. We don't have a national, or we just benchmark against ourselves. Unless the commission wants to spend money.
So I don't know, if I would be interested, if we're gonna pursue this further, if it's possible to get any of the information from the firms that you interviewed, just to understand what they had for these benchmarks.
And I think the question that the commission would ask is, they have to really make a case for how this helps beyond what we already surveyed people on, which is pretty comprehensive. So people communicated that they were most concerned about their safety and our mobility, walking, pedestrian safety. Is it safe for my kid to walk to school? And then their number 2 concern would be with our parks and recreation. And so that came across pretty strongly. And, in my opinion, that there should be maybe more budget, which is going towards public safety, especially in terms of walking and more sidewalks. So I guess a good case would have to be made for, how this survey would be different and can give us additional information with helping where we should best allocate resources. And then to the extent that, this can be done as more of a volunteer-led effort, I'm sure there would still be some costs. So I guess we need to have, proposals in terms of how much this would all cost and, make it very clear how this is additional information that we didn't have from our previous comprehensive surveys.
Yeah, I mean, when we talked about it, it says that every 2 years, and it's been, when did we do the comprehensive plan in 2021?
23.
Yeah.
So if there's no urgency, it's a lot of work.
Especially if you want it to be scientifically accurate.
Yeah, I mean, I guess there's a question for the commission, Margaret. I mean, they said in the plan that we have and we're supposed to follow that we should do this every 2 years. And it's been more than 2 years since we did it. So if the commission doesn't want us to do that, they probably should say
Yeah, I guess in general, if you look at the comp plan and if you look at the dashboard, there are many things, which are listed there, some of which haven't been started, that haven't been worked on. And that's another thing I think, and Laura brought that up, and I'm sure many of you have already done this. If you go through our dashboard and the comp plan and look at things that haven't been worked on, things in addition to the survey, there may be other things that really trigger your interest, which may be easier to, perhaps convince the commission to spend money on because they're maybe not as extensive as this. It's my understanding that these are goals, but it's not the same as a code provision, which says we must do something. These are mostly goals.
And for the benefit of the people who weren't there, we did propose the survey to the commission, not last budget year, but the year before. And the reason it was turned down was survey fatigue. They said that between the comprehensive plan and the parks master plan, and to some extent the zoning stuff that's coming up, they said we could stop. So that was the reason it was turned down, not because they felt it was unworthy or because they didn't want to spend the money. They just said, we're at our survey limit. So.
But I think if a more clear case was made for what is the information that we're getting, which was not covered previously, do we feel that the information that we received in 2023 is no longer accurate? Why is it no longer accurate? What are the nuances? What additional information do we need? Would this possibly take away from, people attending or focusing on some of the zoning meetings where we want input? There's just a lot of factors to come up with. And of course, it's something which could happen. I just think a very convincing case would have to be made for why we need another survey and what is this going to demonstrate that would help us in terms of allocating resources in the best possible way.
I mean, this is not my hill to die on.
Yeah, I think we should just, I would say we should just table this.
Yeah.
We have a lot of other things to do.
Yeah, that was only number 2.
Community Day, that's yours.
The Mount Lebanon Day? Yeah. Yeah,
The July 4th one?
So no, like another one. We spent a lot of time talking about what the community already does and how much we love it, and how the 4th of July is really the one day where the whole community comes together, because there's block party. We have Pride, we have block parties, we have MLK, we just have so many things which are so wonderful. And the idea was to have one like Mount Lebanon Day, like basically a giant block party, like a giant celebration of the entire community.
Do we want to bring back Ultra Party? I'm just saying.
What's that?
Oh my gosh, Ultra Party was the best.
Yeah.
Nobody, there was like a center stage, it shut down Washington Road. And then there would be a stage in the middle, and there would be like vendors all around.
You guys, I asked you if this already had happened in the past. This
Ultra
sounds so
Party.
cool.
It was awesome.
So you're volunteering to
I would absolutely, I would get a team right smack, and we'd all miss it.
Amazing.
But no, I do agree, being at like Pride and then being at, I helped with set up on Juneteenth, like the following day. It was just so crazy how these are like just segmented. Like it's wonderful for the reasons in which these are separate events, but in terms of just the synergies, it would be nice. Yeah, I agree. And a lot of people talked about like the socioeconomic, seemed to be the biggest barrier of feeling like this was not a place that was as inclusive, was from like a socioeconomic standpoint. And I feel like it's a nice gathering. Yeah. Sorry, I got really excited.
But no, but I think you were touching on right.
Photos? I want to see them.
I think you were touching on right. So many of our community events are segmented.
Yes.
They're about having gatherings for
Yes.
parts of our community. So
Yes, they're like inclusive and
Yeah.
block parties, like you have to live on that street or, whatever, yeah.
Did it just kind of fizzle out? Do we know whatever happened?
No, they,
Shutting down.
the last time they did it, they didn't make any money, so it was more,
There's
it's
a
very
partnership
expensive
venture,
because you have to pay to block the street off. You're paying Public Works, as you know now, you have to put large trucks at the end. Public Works has to clean up, you have to rent bathrooms and all sorts of stuff. So it was a joint effort between the municipality and the partnership, so I think it was a joint decision there, but I think there's always been that sentiment like, man, we really missed that.
when did that stop?
It had to have been up until at least 2019. Like, let me go through my phone. I like, or
You think longer than
2018.
that, Laura, or more recent when you say no?
I don't think it was more recent than that.
Yeah, I was thinking 10 years.
Yeah.
Because I've been here 20. Well,
Yeah, and there was,
I bet
and there
you're
was
not
also
gonna
some questions about how to charge people to get in. So the way it worked, and again, this was run by Eric's department and the partnership, is you paid to get a wristband, which allowed you to buy beer. But if you had no intentions on drinking, you didn't pay for it. And if you actually listen to our podcast this week, he reminisces about the nightmare one, the clown catastrophe. So Eric decided that we were gonna go for a Guinness World Record for the largest number of balloon hats in one party. And I think the record was 8,000. So we bought all these balloon hats and clowns were gonna make them. And it was part of and there was a band and all of that other stuff. Well, it was a torrential downpour all day. So some people came, but we were left with all these, I think we did 2,200 by the end of the day. So this room and commission chambers and everywhere were just filled with balloons. So we had to go, and I'm afraid of clowns. So we had to go through and pop them all. And that they were just like, wow, that didn't go the way we planned. So it's a very funny podcast. I suggest you listen to it. But I digress. But people who didn't want to drink didn't pay. The bars felt kind of left out because why would you go to the bar when there was a beer truck on the street? And then people also were bringing kids. So people were like, well, also I'm not gonna get my party on if kids. So it kind of just couldn't decide what it wanted to do.
Well, yeah, I mean,
An identity.
this kind of evolved as we were talking, but, because my first thought was just to have like an international food fair. We have a lot of international restaurants. We got Uzbek, we got Mexican, we got, Lebanese, we got Indian,
Chinese,
we got
Italian.
we got- Yeah, we could have 10 different nationalities and have food fair. But that could be part of this thing and maybe they'll pay. Right, so, I mean, they're gonna make money.
Yeah, there's like a split the difference. I like this idea. Like,
And
there
some of
is
them
a
did,
lot.
like
So-
Totopo did bring out, they brought the taco truck out and they were selling tacos.
So let them
So
sell
what
their
if
own, let
we-
them sell beer from their place. They don't have to have a beer truck.
Well, they have to get a liquor license to allow them to sell over the counter, which some of them did.
Yeah,
What if we set up, like an exploratory subcommittee with Kate? Anybody else too, it sounds like.
Yeah.
And then maybe we find out that it's just a no-go and then nobody else wasted any time.
Yes, I'll happily explore.
Can I move to
That's what you do, yeah.
make that subcommittee?
second,
Any discussion? All in
Does
favor?
anybody else want to be on it?
Well, let's
Okay,
make
all
it
in favor.
exist.
You're
and
right,
then
I'm
we'll
sorry.
populate. Then we'll populate
I
it.
didn't want to be
Yeah.
exclusionary.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Great. All right, so I hear that Kate has volunteered to
Yeah.
chair it.
Ultra Party Explorer, yeah, we got this. You're coming along.
Who else would like to join?
Oh, yeah. No choice.
Sounds too fun, how could I not?
It was so much fun.
It was so much
That's what I was
fun.
like, I just want that to happen.
Oh,
And then one year they even added a kids component. They added an earlier party where they had kids games and like big Connect Fours and stuff like that. And then there was like a half an hour lull. They're like, all right, take them to the sitter and come back as a way to kind of make everybody
Oh, I
happy.
love that. Cool.
That's a good
I
idea.
love that.
Yeah.
Okay, who else wants to join the subcommittee?
international food thing.
I really want to-
Yeah, come on, Kevin.
International
Come on.
Enthusiastic.
It was really
But
good.
I feel like I'm the wrong demographic for that.
I am not the right demographic, it's just from my heyday.
Since I want
Come on.
international food taste.
Kevin's
Kevin's on every
Okay.
subcommittee.
So Kate, Johanna, and Kevin. That's it. And Kevin
I
can deal
love
with the
it,
mediations of people.
Yes,
who
I
do
I'm a mediation booth.
You can mediate the three of us when it comes to a cake, a band.
Just like in the,
Golden cage.
you see from Peanuts. Yeah, it's like the mediator is in.
Exactly.
There's something there.
All right, what's the fourth one?
Oh, yeah, and I just want to mention to the extent that you guys think this is something you want to move forward on, but you feel like maybe you want, additional people to talk to you about this, that you could talk to, and I can help coordinate this with the Mount Lebanon Partnership. Because they definitely have volunteer fatigue there. They've put on these events for years, and I think that it takes a lot of time. They don't have as many volunteers as they once did. And then in general, and I've discussed this with other people, that they're, for various reasons, which a lot of these reasons are positive, it is just harder to find as many volunteers as maybe we did 15 years ago, 20 years ago, when we were putting on ultra parties and there was a little more happening. So, that's obviously a great group to partnership with if this is something you want to, move forward with.
Thank you.
That's a great idea.
It seems like this is probably going to have to be a next year thing, because I don't think they would pull this off this year.
I feel like Kate could do it.
Thank you so much. Did you screen in August, just saying.
Somebody,
I'm on vacation that month.
somebody revive Laura.
Yeah. So it's four.
Yeah. So the last one was about, doing something with the library again for Hispanic.
Yeah, and I have to talk to the library. I don't know, do you know if they're having Como Beats again this year?
I do not know, I can ask them.
Yeah, I can reach out. I have a connection on the library board.
Oh, your wife.
But-
I'll find out and see then if it makes sense to do something with them
Okay.
this year.
So last year, we tabled at one of their events, that was
Yeah.
part of that, sort of to represent Hispanic Heritage Month, which is.
That was in September.
Yeah,
Yeah, and, you know, it wasn't great. I mean, the event for them, they had a fair amount of people there, but I don't think we really reached the Hispanic community and let them know the value of the
was
CED.
one of two people that spoke Spanish at the booth.
And
he's from Spain.
So we'll see what they're doing this month. They had a different event there that might have been better. They had like a event, I think they had like serving food and they had musicians, like for and they had kids events. So if they're doing that again, I think it'd be a lot better to be about that day. Just sit there and talk to people then.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just to show we care.
so we're all good with exploring that. We need to vote, and I think that can be brought back, I mean, most, yeah.
Send an email in the meantime.
Great, thank you. Anything else for DEI? I mean, any? Great, well, that was productive. We kicked off there. Residence Academy.
I'll start scheduling it in September, and the dates are January 7th to March 4th. Thank you, Laura, for reminding me that I needed a graduation date. That's it.
Have we, the past few years, is there a cutoff, like if you exceeded the number of slots every year we get to turn people away, or is it
Yes,
perfect?
Karen keeps track of that. Once we get to 30, we put people on a waiting list and they get first preference. So before we announce it to the public, she'll go back to the people on the waiting list and give them first
Oh,
slot,
yes,
and then they get a
every year.
guaranteed slot.
We
Oh,
had
yeah.
one
Remember
person
year
that
I was on the
actually,
waiting list, remember that, the very first year I was on the waiting list.
we had one person that attended in the past.
Yeah, this time we were gonna say, if you have attended, you cannot do it again. We had a couple people, and she's like, I just want to see if anything changed. And I was like, you're giving up 9 weeks of your life 2 years in a row to see if anything had changed.
Okay.
So,
In a
things you don't
row?
think you have to build
In a row?
in, like don't bring your baby.
Oh, yeah,
to the
don't bring
event.
your baby to the event.
Yeah.
Well,
So-
there was at least one person who just brought their spouse who wasn't signed up too. I mean, like
That too.
Yeah, so, yeah.
They were signed up together.
And again, the reason we keep it at 30 is because more than that, when you start going on the tours, and then it just becomes unwieldy. So they want everybody to have time to ask questions.
Okay, so we should all plan to sign up to host some of those when we get the list. So, Community Service Award, I don't think we're too far out. And MLK Day.
I mean, pretty soon I gotta start thinking about it, but
And
nothing.
when does that ad go in? Is MLK Day in November the same as Residence Academy?
It's a different piece
Okay.
of copy. Yeah, we can put that in whenever. Just when you know what hours, I mean, we know what hours we have the room, but what hours you wanna make it, and then, it'll help to have examples of things that people could do for the, I could keep calling it an ad, it's not an ad for the
Yeah, I think it's just a
publicity.
little early to reach out to people. They'll never remember in January, but I think, starting sometime next month, I'm gonna start calling people and locking them in.
All right, thank you. Okay,
Sorry,
Yeah, go ahead.
actually for DEI, we did go to the Pride.
oh, yeah, you want.
I was only in the booth for like two or 3 hours. These folks did in the
Yeah.
morning, so maybe you guys wanna read out, and plus, you disappointed me.
I have, Teresa compiled, yes,
Oh, Teresa,
so I need to
that's right,
share,
Teresa,
yeah,
that's
so I
right.
need to
maybe
share this
Teresa, you
with.
wanna compile them, talk about that.
I can't do it, yeah, but, no, I thought it was helpful. I think everyone really liked the board, just having the question posed, which was just like, what can Mount Lebanon do to make everyone feel like home? And that at least got some like actual engagement, people taking pictures of the board, et cetera. Again, it was more, which was nice, it was more about things like access to, it was more about the socioeconomic, I feel like push-pull in the community that popped more, not surprising, but it was an interesting, and so talking about like the pool being free, or, just things in which are beyond our control, but just the barriers to access for certain things. Any of your thoughts?
No, I pretty much agree. I'm trying to think what else was on there.
I mean, I have them in the bag, but thank you so much. But yes, the kind of, the next step for these will really be to synthesize. I was gonna run them a bit through LLM a couple of times and then figure out like what could potential projects be for the DEI committee based on their responses. But there were also a lot of these, like the connectivity, like having events. I feel like a lot of this, just gonna say, is gonna validate Ultra Party. Because I mean, just the one that I pulled out top, Teresa organized, having this festival more, people want a festival. I think that, yeah, the connection of the community.
She's gonna relate everyone.
Yeah.
Some people said we need a dog.
Everyone
Just
wants
some people said we need a dog.
community networking, whatever.
Dog park. Well, we should have dogs come to Ultra Paradise. Another reason to have Ultra Paradise.
But yeah, dog parks, things in which are like spaces for that type of collaboration and interaction.
So there is a document, right? I saw it circulated. These are all, you
Yes,
typed them?
yes,
Yeah.
yeah. Teresa typed them up, and now I
Okay.
need to throw them in Dell.
So then it needs to get submitted to the municipality officially wants that record.
Oh, you did, I have it.
You have it?
Yeah, and I passed
we're
along
done.
to Keith and he
No,
said,
I appreciate that.
Okay,
I
good.
appreciate that.
So-
but any projects that you determine you would like to do out of that list then has to get over to get approved
Yeah.
by the commission. So that was prompt. I mean, you guys had it like the next day.
Yeah, thank you. I typed fast. I also ran it through AI a few times to compile it.
Is there any reason why we did partner with Pride but not Juneteenth, or was it just coming down to like when you have ideas for things, bringing it to the front? Only because I was there like the next one, and I don't think a lot of community there weren't the same level, I feel like, there were churches and some others at Pride, and there wasn't that same again, I left like before.
Well, there wasn't, so the invitation to table was not
Got
a
it,
broad invitation.
Got it.
So, yeah.
okay. So Pride brought forth to
Yeah.
us, got it.
And the rules as written for boards and authorities is they're only permitted to table at municipally sponsored events, which neither are, but because the library was going to be there, they made an exception for Pride.
Got it, okay,
So,
interesting,
Which is why we were at the library table,
that makes sense.
and they have better swag.
Oh, that was prime placement, that was awesome, thank you, they had so many activities, yeah.
So if you do have more interest in those events,
Yes.
talking to the Legal Coalition folks
Yes,
is just having an informal conversation I'd encourage that. So,
okay,
because the two events do have sort of, different people are planning them.
Absolutely.
And there's different sort of strategies of what they're trying to achieve. So,
yes,
yeah.
yeah.
And I don't want to report that for them, but it's.
I don't
it's
even
worth-
know if there would be interest, it was
Yeah.
just an purely observation of how,
Yeah.
for my own education, and yeah, I just reached out to them, that's what they needed, set up help. But no, that's interesting, that also makes sense then why there was less of that presence.
Yeah, so, and my church was to sponsor both events. We provided all the tables and chairs for Juneteenth.
Yeah.
But they didn't want tables for tabling, but then, Pride,
I
let's bring
did.
your own table, let's bring your own table for Pride, so, yeah.
Yeah,
So,
got it.
Yeah. Okay, so budget requests, we've had ideas today, but if we're gonna request money for any of them, we gotta get those.
So
in,
one of the things Emily talked about was posters. Is that something that if we're going to do this with the community leader, you mentioned putting posters in business?
Yeah. I mean, I can't imagine that,
Yeah,
but
just
a little bit.
posters, well, can't hurt to ask for money, I guess. I was thinking we would just
Print them at home.
print them at someplace. Print them at someplace on a color printer, for example.
But I know, Laura, you always say it has to be formatted or say something specific if it's representing.
Yeah, it just either has to be created by my office or approved by my office. So if we have enough time, we have 2 graphic designers on staff that are happy to do that stuff. So
I
if
don't know,
not,
Laura, what do you think we need to ask for budget if we're gonna advertise these events in like store windows?
I mean, if it's something that we can print off here on 11 by 17, you probably $200. I mean, I can't imagine it's gonna be more than that.
Okay.
I mean, we pay per click on the, I can ask IT what we pay per click, what it actually costs. I mean, $200.
Thanks, Anna.
Anything else you want to spend money on? I mean, ultra parties.
Ultra party's gonna be very expensive.
And just so you know, there's
Backstreet Boys are coming.
There's a standing request.
Make money on ultra
Because
party.
you gotta do it in the next month and a half.
That's right, 6 weeks.
It's a national emergency.
There's a standing request for $500 for the Residence Academy, so that covers the snacks, that covers the cake, that covers, Karen gets folders and it's amazing how expensive presentation folders are for the completion certificates and things like that, so.
Anna, was that enough? That like you didn't go over like?
Yeah, I didn't go over.
But did you turn any receipts in?
Yes.
No, I forgot to turn in the cupcakes.
I thought you did.
Did I?
You
No,
turned
that
in
was last year.
snacks.
I
Didn't you
turned
turn
in snacks, yes.
Give them a receipt.
No, it's still sitting in my, I may have it, but thank you, Stacy, I'll remember to do that.
Did we spend any money on MLK Day? I can't think of anything that cost any money, but. I don't know.
Well-
Remember, do we have a budget request?
I did, I mean, I spent a couple $100 on Valentine's.
I was gonna say, your art kits were
So maybe we should
expensive.
put in a budget request for that then.
Yeah.
Did you
We did
fund
that every
yourself?
year.
If you're gonna do that again, but I funded them myself twice.
There was
Well, I think
amazing
it's a
stuff
good
in there,
thing.
yeah.
And Skittles and
But you still,
tattoos.
there's like a lot of recycled stuff,
I
right?
have the scissors, but the markers won't be good, so you need to get markers every
So
year,
then we
and
need
then
a
all the
budget for
paper
that.
and stuff. But that was about $250.
That was
So,
a big
should we
MLK Day
put-
success.
Should we put like 350 in for MLK Day?
Yeah.
Nothing else cost money on that day.
No, I mean, you know, there's things like name tags and like, but I don't know where the name, did I bring the name tags?
Probably.
Okay.
Thank you, Sid Paul.
Yeah.
So now, are we,
So now
how does this
looking
work now? Are you writing this down?
I have to write this down and then I run it by the manager to find out whose budget
So
that
we don't have to send anything.
go,
So
no, you don't have to.
MLK is $350 and posters would be $200.
And then you also, just so you know, is the way the Residence Academy used to work is they got that stuff donated. So you also have the ability to go to stores and get cupcake donations and I think the one year Adam got a bunch of
Adam
things
did a
from-
lot of running, and that was something I was not willing to do.
I'm on it. We'll be getting free cupcakes for this next week graduation.
Yeah, because it's, I mean, the potato chips, pretzels and stuff was $50.
Yeah,
That was
the
not-
snacks are regular, like, that's a Costco thing, but the
Yeah.
graduation cupcakes.
Okay,
know,
you can do
somebody
that,
I
but
can-
that with Costco, Sam's Club, that was $25, $30, $40, nothing. Like, I don't even think we spent the whole $500.
The key is to tell the fire.
Well, but we
department.
had other stuff in our
You
office
had
that
stuff
comes
in
out
your
of it too,
office.
yeah. Like I said, anything that we have to buy
Yeah.
from the office supply store.
Yeah.
Name tags we paid for.
I still think it worked better, Karen, having those printed, like, and not having to
I agree.
fuss.
I agree.
That worked better. And now we know that the surveys have to be every week, because giving them ahead in the folders didn't work.
You know, I don't know, I felt like it worked
Somewhat.
good for 80% of people.
Right.
If we just had 10 extra,
That's
that we can
probably
hand out?
true.
I think that would help.
Well, that, if you want to do that online, that's really easy. I could just do that in Qualtrics.
Ooh.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
they have to do it in real time or else.
Well, they can do it on their phone.
Just put a QR code.
Yeah. Then you could do
They never had their
charts and
binders.
shit for the.
Put ads in there, go to Ultra Party.
They'll be subliminal.
Okay,
That's a good
other,
idea.
we actually have generated some budget requests.
Yeah, so $350 for MLK Day and $200-ish for the posters.
So we have to vote on that. Anna just moved it.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Who's second? Emily?
Yes.
Great, thank you. Okay. Having completed any new business, having completed the agenda, our next meeting is August 5th, at 6 p.m. We are adjourned.
Thank you, Margaret.
Oh yeah, and listen, I just had one question for you guys, just so you can ponder. So there is the Final Fridays. We had a Final Friday just recently, and it's something that the partnership puts on. So you may feel as though like that's not as complete an event, it doesn't bring enough people together, whatever. But it's just something to think about because that's what we're currently doing now is the Final Fridays through the partnership. So
Actually, the partnership is no longer involved. It's just the Muni now.
okay, now that's just municipality.
Yeah,
Okay.
they couldn't sustain it on their end.
Okay. All right. Okay. Thanks. And you guys can feel free to, contact me anytime if you got further questions. So, all right.
Thank you. Thanks, Margaret.
Okay. Thanks.